Good evening, everyone. Hello, and I hope you had a nice weekend today. Um, so, for your late night entertainment, I present to you a pick a pile reading today, which is with an interesting question. A little complicated, I must admit, but what we are exploring today is which past life of yours is affecting your current life at this point? So, if you don't believe in the theory of reincarnation, I would suggest you um, let go of this reading, this pick a card reading. If you do believe in it, then I'd like to give a little snippet of information. So, as they say, we've had multiple past lives on earth, right, as a soul. And at different points in time in our current life, various past lives affect us. So it might be past life number one would affect you in maybe in the years of 1 to 18, or maybe 30 to 40, or etc. Whereas another one might affect you at another time or age. Okay, so whatever age you are at this point, we let's deep dive into which past life is affecting you at this point. So in this pick a pile, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what that past life was all about, what was the main theme of that past life, the lesson of that past life, and how is it affecting you at this point. So these are the three main themes that we're looking at in these piles. As you can see, there are four piles in front of you. Pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pile number 1 would be amethyst. Pile number 2 is black obsidian. Pile number 3 is clear quartz. And pile number 4 is Angelite, the blue stone. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to put these piles aside. Start with pile number 1. So pile number 1, amethyst. Unbound. Can you see this? I think it's better if I just keep it here. So the first card is unbound. The second card is have fun. The third card is third eye chakra. The fourth card is seek the truth. Fifth card, fire and ice. From the tarot, I have the card justice, the devil, and the queen of wands. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can adjust my light a little bit here, because I think it's getting a little dark. Give me a minute. I hope you can see the cards now. Yeah, that looks perfect. All right. So let's see what's going on. Okay, so very first thing that I'm seeing here is, let's look at the location. I feel that in this past life, the one that's affecting you right now, it was a pretty significant past life. Obviously, we are looking at significant past lives here because they're affecting us right now. But I think this was a location which was near to the sea in some way. It's possibly something to do with either Greek civilization or somewhere where there's an island. I see island and trees and rock faces, sea, cliffs, that kind of thing. Yeah, even here there is a river that you can see. There's a township here and then a river that flows through. And I think you were in a location like this in a past life. Now, I feel what happened in that past life was that um, there was this very significant turning point. I think you were a ruler or something of some sort. You were in a position of power, and you were somebody who also probably, was someone who dispensed justice. With the justice card here, you dispense justice on the people, and you were in a pretty important position, I feel, in that life. And I feel a lot of that lifetime was about deciding between good and evil, or deciding between right or wrong. Okay? And I feel that it was like a very black and white sort of a personality you developed in that life, because on one side you were somebody who needed to punish the people who, according to that time, were not right in their actions, and you needed to be on the side of the people who were innocent. So this was a heavy, heavy responsibility that you had in that lifetime, and I feel somewhere that personality is very much affecting your current life right now. It's possible that you have these shades of personality where sometimes you look at things like very black and white. It takes time for you to come to a judgment or a decision about something. There might be a tendency to see things in stark contrasts, like, there is no gray, there is either black or white. So either you have this shade of personality right now, which is coming from that previous lifetime. The second thing that I feel which is affecting you at this point from that lifetime is this heavy sense of responsibility, heavy sense of taking the right decision, of being right, of being so stuck in that past life that you forget to have fun. So the fun card is saying, stop. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you took a chance and did something silly, something totally unlike you, something just for the joy of it? It's long overdue for you to let go of your analytical mind and give yourself and your soul permission to have fun. So yeah, with the unbound card and the have fun card, I feel that you had such heavy responsibilities in that lifetime that at this point you have a slightly serious tinge to your nature. You overthink things, you overanalyze things, you have to get it right. There is always a right or wrong. There's always a black or white. There's never a shade of gray. Now, the fire and ice card also, I'd like to read it out because that also tells me the same thing. It's pretty much the same. It says, if you're consciously feeling the conflict in your life, internally or externally, then you are being initiated through fire and ice. Stay present, be patient, and wait. There is nothing to fix here, just awareness to step into a divine creation, to step into as divine creation continues to unfold through you. As you master this initiation, you will find a sweet nectar of bliss dripping within. This oracle brings you guidance that the conflict you feel within or externally is a sign of your spiritual growth. Soon you will grow larger than the conflict, but for now you do not need to engage in it. Simply to be present to it and allow it to work its way through you until you are strong enough to have outgrown the conflict, giving rise to a clear direction. It may seem impossible, but it is not. You are a vast being. Give yourself a chance to realize this and have patience. So, yeah, so pretty much this, right? It's like an internal conflict which is constantly going on inside you. Is this right? Is this wrong? So much so that you forget to just let go of the moment and have fun. And I feel this leadership position that you had at that point, this probably somebody who dispense justice like a ruler or somebody like that, it kind of affected you in such a way that now you feel that it's your responsibility to get it right. And with the devil card here, I feel in that lifetime, because of this sense of power or this position of power that you had, I think your relationships also suffered. I feel it's possible that in that lifetime you were in an unfulfilled relationship or partnership where you were just bound to each other, both of you, just because it was the right thing to do. It was just a marriage of convenience because it was something that was done right. And even in that marriage, I feel you had a tendency to try to control things, try to figure out things, try to figure out how to maybe, you had control issues and your partner didn't like it. And this kind of translates back into this life, or at this point you might be going through a phase where you have this constant obsession of being right, of finding all the facts, of trying to control situations. So the major theme that I am seeing in this spread here, it says releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So yeah, this lifetime you need to release this. You will release this because there is so much of conflict inside with this, constant sense of having to know what is behind certain things, having to be right all the time. You just forget to have fun because of that. You forget to go with the flow because you always have to be in control, whether it's in relationships or job or career or finances or any aspect of life. I'm sure you're finding it tough to even get along with relationships, especially in relationships, because nobody likes control, right? No one likes anyone to control them. So this life, you need to come unbound. You need to release this pattern that you're carrying from this past life. And the way you're going to do it is by tuning in to your third eye chakra and seeking the truth. Now, third eye chakra is the chakra of intuition. So instead of just facts, what the spread is trying to tell you is that you need to go by your intuition, because sometimes, a lot of times, the facts might say something and it might be a totally different thing altogether. So learn to seek the actual truth, which you will find in your intuitive senses. Once you reach here, you will be able to free yourself to there will be a sense of freedom at that point where you would be like, okay, I know that I've done my best, I feel this is the truth, and so I'm going to let go and let life take its course. Also, I feel that this lifetime was a time of major karmic accrual. It was a lifetime where you accrued karma, because this is the justice and this is the devil. These two cards are very karmic cards. So yeah, because of your tendency to um, rule over people's lives, and it's possible that you had that kind of power with the Queen of Wands here. It's possible you were this person, okay, and you probably took quite a few decisions in that lifetime, which accrued some karmic debt. So it's possible um, you might be finding relationships tough to work with, because in that lifetime, on a mass scale, you have you know dealt with people, right? And now, in because you can see a whole city here, if you notice. And now in this lifetime, whoever probably you did wrong to, you would tend to have challenging relationships with them. But the thing here is that this lifetime, the scales are going to be balanced. So this devil energy goes out, okay, and you come to justice and unbound. You are finally unbound from that past life during this time, because you will finally get out of this black and white zone you keep getting into, this control issues you keep getting into. Okay, tune into your higher knowledge, your higher spiritual self, seek the truth of it, and free yourself from this cycle of karma. So if you are at this point having any kind of conflict, internal or external, please have faith, be patient. It's This cycle is soon coming to a close, so that you can go ahead and finally live life the way you want to. Okay, so this is what I am seeing for pile number 1. Now let's go to pile number 2 with the black obsidian. Protection, trust, Ace of Cups, solar plexus chakra, nurture, Emperor, Lovers, too much of glare, okay, Lovers, and 9 of Swords. Okay, please give me a minute. Okay, so this is very interesting. I'm getting quite a clear picture with this pile here. So I feel your past life was in the location of there was something to do with water bodies, clear skies, water bodies, trees. I think it looks very, I really don't know what is this painting in this era really all about. So it's kind of tough to read what is the location, but I am seeing a whole lot of green here. It's possible near jungles or sea or water bodies, something like that. Now I feel that this past life of yours was a lot to do with love. because I think in this, the past life that is affecting you at this point in your life is the the past life where you were with your divine masculine, or you were with your true love um, in that lifetime. Because here I have the nurture card. The nurture card is the Empress card, and the four um, is the Emperor card in the tarot. So divine feminine, divine masculine, lovers, and Ace of Cups. So this was a lifetime which was absolutely to do with love. So at this time, I think you are in a situation, or at this point in your life, where you are either coming into union or already in union with your twin flame, with your divine counterpart, with your love, your true love, whatever label you want to give that. Now, I have a feeling from this past life that the person that you were involved with, your true love, your partner, was somebody who was very important, was someone who was in a position of power, and held a lot of sway in that lifetime. So probably somebody who was recognized, who was someone who was very known, well known person. Whereas you were sort of simple, you were more of a person who had simple needs, simple sort of requirements, and a simple life. You were probably even very young. I see an age difference over here. And then I feel that both of you met, and it was divine. It was some sort of a divine, either a message from the divine, or some sort of a synchronicity, or something like that. I mean, something to do with the divine here. I don't know what it is. It's like both of you met, and it was an instant recognition that you both were meant to be, with the Lovers card. And I want to read the Lovers card as well over here. It says, the oracle brings a message of love, love, love. It is finding you now. Be open to it in all its forms. Be the god and goddess of love, and paint the town red. Play in passionate embrace with life as your lover, and prepare to receive even more than what you believe you are capable of handling. Love is a magic word that holds the universe together. It is both an emotion and something ephemeral that lives like a fire's glow on the pink light on the clouds after the sun has set. It is alive and yet indefinable. It causes the heart to beat more rapidly, feelings to show, and young people to write, sing, dance, and become totally immersed in its hold. Love can beckon coyly or flaunt itself with wanton abandon. Love can live and grow seemingly forever, or vanish in a fleeting moment when we least suspect. And in the twilight of our years, reflecting on the life we have lived, it is love which colors every turn and twist of our memory. And when we pass from this earthly plane, it will be love that will light our soul on its journey home. Yes. So, yeah, it was true love. You met the love of a lifetime, your twin flame, your soulmate in that life, and that is why uh, this feeling, probably you've always had this feeling of wanting that kind of person, of wanting that kind of love in your life, because you have felt that. And maybe you are at this time where you have either met this person in the current life, or are about to meet this person. Okay, so this life is very strongly affecting you right now. Now, the other thing that I am seeing here is the tendency not to trust. With the Nine of Swords and with the Trust card, it says trust. While your logical mind is dictating a supposedly clear direction, your soul's inner guidance is urging you to follow an alternate path. The logical path may be one that you consider safe and more familiar, but you could be missing out on boundless opportunities and so much more. Yeah, so What it's saying here is that you have a tendency to have a bit of a logical mindset, an over analytical, uh, overthinking, excessive analysis, or excessive, what do you call it? Excessive focus on facts. What it's saying here is, with the heart chakra being highlighted in this card here, it's saying that you need to, at this point, trust and go with your heart, your intuition, and your feelings. Stop getting into your head, because matters of the heart are not something that you can think about, they are to be felt. So I feel that even in that past life, there were issues of letting go, because I feel, because there is a kind of disparity between these two people. This girl seems very simple, this man seems very known, and possibly in that life also you had this conflict about how can, I get someone like that? Am I worth it? Is it even happening? Is it love? Possibly you had that, and you're bringing it forward at this point in your life. So it's saying learn to trust, because this is love, right? This is true love. This is love that has lasted you for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And you really, how much deeper can you dig? How many facts will you get? Go with your heart. Also, I feel a lot of that lifetime was to do with your own, coming into your own power. So solar plexus chakra is about coming into your own power, into your confidence, into your ability. And I feel there were issues to do with coming into your own power, accepting your importance. I think you did not even, you were so much in love with this person that you didn't even think for a minute about what or how would you be without that person. And probably, if I don't know what happened in that life, we need an extended reading to see that. But if suppose this person was not there, or it didn't work out between you two people, I'm sure it would have been a very tough lifetime to actually go through, because you had literally very less um, confidence in sort of, living by yourself, or living for yourself, like, giving importance to yourself. And that's why it's also saying protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. So this lifetime you need to cut the negative cords of this lifetime. So there are some negative energies you are carrying from that lifetime to this one. It's possible the same scenario happens in this lifetime, and once again you go into the same pattern of thinking of codependency, of not thinking that much about yourself. It's possible that you even had a life where you've been fairly independent and taken decisions with your with your mind rather than your heart, and forgot to trust. And so you have built up a sense of confidence in this life, because this lifetime I don't see that happening. So this lifetime you have built up that confidence, I feel. And so the negative cords of the past are getting cut. If you see, there is a circle here in this card, and there's a circle here in this card, so they are like matching circles. You have come full circle in your learning from that lifetime to this lifetime. And so I feel that all you need to do at this point now, when you meet that person, or if you've already met that person, is to let go and trust. Enough with the head, move on with your heart. Okay, so that lifetime, that beautiful lifetime, which has always sort of haunted you at the back of your mind, with the beautiful love it gave you, the beautiful person it gave you, I think it has always been at the back of your mind, and now it's coming towards you, or has already come towards you, because Now you are a complete person, you are a whole. You don't need another person to actually you know live your life. You are confident in yourself because you have done this. Now this person is coming back or has already come back. So now what you have to do is just go with the flow, go with your heart, stop the over analysis, don't get into either side of the extreme. Just go and go with the flow. It says that, okay, so I've already read this, right? So yeah, and the second thing I'm seeing is that this emperor card is a very stable card. So the person who is going to come in your life or is in your life, it's a very stable person who loves you very much, and there's really no need to overanalyze or, I don't know, overthink the situation. You just need to trust and accept. You are coming full circle, and this beautiful past life is what is affecting you right now. And you have learnt your lessons, and now it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I'm also sensing from this card that there might be a lot of soul tribe people that are surrounding you from that lifetime, in this lifetime here, to boost your confidence, to boost your power, to recognize, how it used to be in those times. And something about this card is a lot to do with divine guidance as well, with the Ace of Cups, because Ace of Cups is actually divine guidance. So yeah, this seems to be something happening over here, pretty intense. And like I said, this is definitely your twin flame or your divine counterpart, a very significant soul connection, a very sacred relationship. So trust, because facts won't serve you here. It's only going by the soul. Wonderful. Now let's go to pile number 3. Pile number 3 is clear quartz. Sorry, clear quartz. Break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Animal kingdom. The breaking. Okay, so I'm having 2 break cards. Okay, interesting. From tarot, King of Pentacles. Listen. Four of Swords. Coming together. Justice. I'm seeing a lot of justice in this card. And I mean, 10 plus 1. Justice. In the previous one also, I think we had justice. How do we have two justices here? I wonder. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this was not the justice card. This was okay. This was actually the Knight of Swords, but looks just like justice. Okay, anyways, alright, forget it. Okay, so let's see what happens in pile number 3. Okay. Alright, so I feel the lifetime that's affecting pile number 3 is, I really feel it's something to do with, where you were very connected to animals. There was like either you were in a farm or you were involved in something to do with animals, where, like farming or where you would ride on horses. You probably hunted animals for food. So this looks like very very old lifetime, where you probably were like hunters and gatherers, kind of a feeling that I'm getting. And um, I think in this lifetime, it was a lot about, being very slow and steady, and kind of like, going by what others did in the past, like your ancestors. Okay, because obviously, in those very very old times, I don't think people had no other option but to go for what templates their ancestors had set. And so it was a slow and steady, slightly rigid lifetime, where um, there was no chance for any rebelliousness to happen. So yeah, so that lifetime I think is affecting you now, because somewhere, I don't know why I'm sensing from this pile that you might have an affinity for animals, like you either like animals, or you tend to understand their pain, or you seem to have a very strong tinge of wanting to help animals. So there seems to be a big past life involving animals here, and you probably bring that from that lifetime. I feel what happened in that lifetime was some sort of a natural disaster. Okay, now it's like the breaking. So when I look at the breaking card, and I'm going to read that as well here, because it's giving me the feeling of something, some sort of a natural disaster happening. So yeah, it says this oracle brings the compassionate guidance that no matter what sadness or anger, despair or frustration you may feel, you are being pulled apart, not by dark forces, but by the loving embrace of the divine, as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. Let go and break. It is going to be the making of you. So, yeah, I think some sort of natural disaster happened, where either you lost your family, or you were out hunting or gathering food or something like that, and you got into an accident, and you couldn't come together with your loved ones, and they kept waiting and waiting. And I feel that lifetime you have bought it, or that lifetime is affecting you at this point in this lifetime, because there seems to be a kind of fear in you about letting go and trusting, of listening without really finding the facts. You are a bit rigid in your relationships, or in taking chances on relationships, of actually listening to your softer side, of listening to your intuition, because you went through a very tough time in that life. I mean, not able to meet your loved ones, or facing a natural disaster, something like that happened, and you need a lot of healing from that lifetime. And that's why you are right now either at a point where you are just about like stepping into this breakthrough in your lifetime. There's been a huge realization or upheaval or something in your life which is breaking apart the safe and steady foundations that you had built. You had built those foundations on typical society norms, possibly, of tried and tested templates, because you don't like to go against the tide, because you've seen how it works from that lifetime. And so you set up this safe haven for yourself. But what happened was that you were safe, but you ended up not very happy, not progressing in your soul's journey. And so at this point, I feel there's some huge upheaval going through in your life. It probably, either it could be, like a, I don't know, it could even be a replication of that past life, wherein, you face some natural disaster, some accident, some loss, or something like that, which has thrown your world in an upheaval sort of thing. And now you're forced to sit and think about why didn't it work? I mean, you were so safe, you put up such solid structures, but it still didn't save you from an upheaval. So, you probably at this point, going through something like that. If you're not, for some people, I'm seeing you might not be going through this. For some people, it might be, just an awakening of sorts where you're like, okay, I'm done thinking safe. I need to go out there. I've had enough of rest and rejuvenation. I'm now going to look into my soul and, break all these ancestral patterns. And um, there might be a rebel emerging from inside of you at this time because, and that's happening because somewhere the scales of karma are balanced. Like whatever karmic imbalances that were there that you were carrying from that life to this one are now in balance. Like there's no karma left anymore. So whatever lessons you had to learn from this past lifetime, which is affecting you right now, you have learned them. You have succeeded in learning that lesson and balancing the scales. And it's probably been a very tiring time to do this. This, like I said, it could be something as big as a like an accident or losing somebody, or it could be something as not minor, as internal as a internal change of heart, of mind, of soul. So you've come from the King of Pentacles, solid, practical energy, to a energy of being absolutely opposite of what you really were in this life. You're seeing a breaking of yourself. You're seeing a radically different nature come out from within you at this point, and that's how that past life is affecting you, because you had to pretty much face something like that in that lifetime as well. Now, I feel the people you lost in that lifetime, for whatever reason, they are coming back into your life. And that is the reward you get for balancing this karma and working so hard in this lifetime. These people, your soul family, your soulmates, your twin flames, whoever they are, whoever were there in that past life, with you, they are coming back. To me, it looks more like husband-wife relationship. Like you both were, parted from each other very suddenly, and in that lifetime. And now you are coming back into union. If you have not already done that, there will be a beautiful renewal of both these soulmates coming back together after such a traumatic kind of lifetime that you had in that lifetime. And that is because of your sheer hard work that you have done in literally turning your soul upside down at this time, with all your introspections and hard work and going within and everything. So you deserve this, and this is coming to you if it has not already come. So you will have a pretty smooth life, I feel, down the road for quite a while, because you have done some heavy work. Yeah. So keep your link to the animals. Dealing with them, helping them would accrue more positive karma. Listen to the voice within, listen to animals. Possibly you have some sort of an ESP going on there. You know how to interact with them. And yeah, take time out to rejuvenate yourself. And because you're just coming out of a very heavy sort of period, or going through a very heavy period where your soul is literally like splitting into two. So it's like this is your outer self, this is your inner self, so you're merging both of you. Or what the thing that is not required is falling away, and the thing that is required is actually stabilizing, which is your soul, and that will attract your soul family to you. So yeah, this is a beautiful, very beautiful kind of pile that I feel it kind of makes a lot of sense over here, and I'm learning so much as I read these cards as well. So it's been quite interesting. Okay, now pile number 4. It's the Angelite. Answer the call. Study. Love. Well deserved reward. Two of Cups. So this is love replicated. Chariot. Three of Wands. Detach. And contemplation. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so once again we have the Justice card, and it's very interesting, because Justice is like very closely linked with past lives, because it's, as it's the balance. The Justice is karma, and karma is very closely tied into reincarnation. So with this spread, I feel that I don't know. I'm once again seeing some sort of a castle or something like that, where you were near the sea. I see very rough waters. I see a lot of sea, a lot of water. Sorry everyone, the video cut out. My phone storage, I think went for a toss. So I was going for pile number 4, and I feel that the past life that we're looking at, I think you were somebody who was alone a lot. You had a life where I actually see you as someone who was probably in a very remote area, like I was saying in the previous in the previous video. I think you had a very turbulent seas where you stayed, and there were rocky cliffs and ships that I see coming and going, and strong winds, and I'm seeing castle-like structures. And I feel you spent a lot of time studying and reading and being by yourself in that life. And it was like, you were so deep in contemplation with this contemplation card as well. You were so lonely and deeply, deeply involved with, just being by yourself. It was a lonely sort of life, I feel, from this. So that's the life that is actually affecting you right now. When I say answer the call, it's like pretty much like this card. If you see this card and if you see this Three of Wands, like both of these women are looking somewhere far in the distance, as though they were looking for someone to come home or to go somewhere where their life was happier, their soul called. And somehow I feel it was a lonely life where you were very much into your own self. You were maybe, I don't see anything like marriage or anything like that. I think you were pretty isolated. And so the study card also says the spirit has its own special way of letting you know that it's time to study again. From time to time, it's important to go back and learn, whether that's learning old things in a new way or learning something totally new. This is an opportunity to expand your mind. Yeah, so I think in that lifetime you were very academic. I think you read a lot of books, and whatever lonely time you had, you read up a lot and increased your knowledge. You gained experience through books. So it's possible that you are an avid reader, or an avid book enthusiast, or just generally someone who's curious about things, because that is something you are bringing forward from this lifetime, from that lifetime to this one, or at least at the moment. So at the moment you might feel kind of, like blocked in, or not wanting to communicate too much, might be in a sort of loner mood or a hermit mode, where you just want to, either sit with a book, or with the television. You just want to be by yourself, because you feel that growth can be achieved internally rather than external. So there is a distinct loner vibe in this card. So I feel that lifetime was a lot about this as well. There was a lot of contemplation, there was a lot of loneliness, and it doesn't seem to be like an uncomfortable sort of loneliness. It seems more like a very, accepted sort of loneliness. So yeah, I'm seeing that in that lifetime. And when I read this card, contemplation, it says, the oracle brings you an invitation to enter into the mystery of your life and your being, and to allow the biggest question you can summon to emerge from your heart and be expressed through love. Your question may emerge as clear and shining, or soft and yielding, a question with no words, only feeling. Whatever truth emerges, let that be your contemplation. In response to that question, the next step forward will unfold before you, revealed in perfect clarity and perfect timing. The oracle brings you a message from your own divine nature. Come sit with me and breathe. I want to ask you something. I want you to ask me something. Together, there is a conversation that we are to have now, and there will be beautiful accord between us that overflows into all of your relationships, bringing more understanding and peace. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much what I was saying. It's like, you had such deep inner dialogue with yourself in that life, and pretty much had an isolated sort of a life. And so, you probably took that. I mean, not that you really had a choice here, but I think you probably took that a little too literally, and you detached yourself. You just sort of cut yourself off from the world. Or it might be that at this time you have cut yourself off from the world because that life is affecting you, and you just want to just get away from it all and be by yourself. And detach is also the card of karma. So it's like, whatever learning you had to do for yourself, for your growth, for your inner growth, you have done in that lifetime. And so the way this life is affecting you now, one is, with respect to how you are a loner by nature, how you like to acquire knowledge. And second is that because you have balanced that karma and done everything it is that you needed to learn, or do in that past life towards your soul growth, now it's time for you to get back into relationships, get back into community, get back into love. Get it's a This life, or this time in your life, is a very rewarding one. Or if it has not yet been, it is coming up, because I see love. It's two of cups energy is twice in this spread, with this two of cups and this. So it's like, for sure, your soulmate, your twin flame is, if you haven't met this person already, you are very soon going to meet this person. Okay, you have earned them as a well deserved reward. And so there is going to be a blooming of love, and it's according to divine plan, because you have done your work, your inner work. You have come to a point where you are self sufficient, empowered, and you can, you know, live your life very well just by yourself. So now the universe is saying that there is no need to be alone, and now you need to balance that side of it, lest you go into another imbalance of being, like somebody who just cannot be with people. So now there is love, true love coming into your life, twin flame, soulmate, divine sacred connections coming to you. very strongly because of the rewards earned in that past life. I feel success at work as well. There is fame, recognition, and growth coming up with the chariot and well deserved rewards. So it's literally like the universe is smiling on you now, because you've done such amazing work all by yourself without any support. And so that lifetime has been a very, very significant lifetime in your soul's journey, because that is the lifetime where you learned how to be self sufficient, non codependent, confidence, self confident person, someone who can detach, someone who's not constantly in fears or doubts, somebody who knows how to live by themselves. And so this time round, I feel the way that life is affecting you is by giving the reward of true love to you, by giving the reward of a beautiful partnership, of recognition, of growth, of career success, finances, like whatever you want. So this to me seems like a highly, highly spiritual and rewarding sort of a pile. And congratulations to pile number 4, because you guys have put in so much of hard work that it's just going to be a happy life, going forward. It's going to be a happy life. So learn to shut down that part of you which just wants to go into your cave, or just wants to shut yourself in a room and not want to interact with anybody, because the thing is that it's time for you to now come out into the light. Your hard work is being rewarded by the universe, by the world, by the circumstances around you. So step up and accept it, because you have won this well deserved reward. So amazing, Payal. I'm deeply, deeply, like I'm totally like lost in this pile. I can just keep going on and on and on. And there's such a stark contrast between that lifetime and this lifetime. It's like you were so alone in that lifetime. It was all about deep, deep thinking, acquiring knowledge, and I'm sure you yearned and pined for companionship at that time, but it was not an offer because you were in some very far off locale or region or something like that. But now it's like, now it's time to balance, and so it's like you are now coming into your reward. So congratulations, pile number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I really did. And for your information, I picked pile 2, so it is very spot on for me at least. So I hope it is for you. I would love feedback on this pick a card, because it was one of my personal favorites. So please go ahead, comment or write to me. I would love to know. Bye bye. Good night.